There's no great significance behind this spoon. I just got bored. Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Jacob's Gaming Weekend, John Fox Does My Work For Me edition.
Yes.
So, we just finished up Act 1 of the game, and we are now into Act 2, which, for those of you who know anything about drama plays, you know that this is when everything's gonna go to hell.
Yeah.
It's time for the long descent down into the abyss.
Woo! Abyss!
John's real pumped for the darkness.
I am one with depression and darkness.
There you go.
I am sad.
So when people reference that Sound of Silence meme, "Hello darkness, my old friend," you're like, ha, relatable.
Yep.
When Spider Cop's on the job, come hell or high water, the job gets...
Nope.
No. They're so cute. I want them to date. I ship it more than Peter Parker and MJ right now.
Can I tell you this, actually? So, the thing that I walked away from Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse thinking, and this is my own personal opinion, and I'm certain comic book fans can give me 20 million reasons why this would never work and never happen. But the Spider-Man team that I would love to see is Peter Parker, Miles Morales, and Gwen Stacy, all Spider people, all working together in like a Spider pack, I guess, would be the thing. Because, man, they had that dynamic in that movie, and I walked away from it thinking, I wish that this wasn't a one-off.
It's not.
It's not?
Nope.
Because I just watched that, I was like, you know what? This is a fantastic dynamic here. You've got Peter Parker as the older Spider-Man, the wiser Spider-Man. You got Miles as the young punk who's like bringing a different kind of energy to the flow. And Gwen Stacy can be just like, amazing. Because she's smart and intelligent too, so she's got the mixture of Miles' sass and Peter's smarts.
Yes.
So she's just all around awesomeness. And I just was like, man, why don't we get this in the movies?
I don't know. I've been really thinking about how animated movies have been really just knocking it out of the park with, like, Incredibles 2.
Incredibles 2.
Into the Spider-Verse. Like, they really do a good job of getting the action that you can't exactly get in like live action movies.
Well, if you think about it,
which isn't a bad thing, but
I think it's just an inevitable limitation of the medium.
And with like those animated movies, Incredibles into Spider-Verse, you're really able to just enjoy it and just go crazy with the medium in a way that live action doesn't allow you to do.
I would say, yeah, because here's the thing, is that I'm not gonna lie here. I think the only real great live-action fight scenes I've seen in a superhero movie are, quite frankly, the Nolan films, and that's because of his cinematography and the way he sets up shots. But beyond that, like, in the Marvel films in particular, the MCU films are incredibly guilty of this. It's just such a CGI fest, and it becomes like there's a trick to the eye with the fact that everything is CGI, and you can tell that it's CGI, and they're fighting in these CGI costumes and everything. Whereas, so it's like trying to be realistic, but also animated at the same time. Whereas with animation being able to just go all the way with it, it really leads to like some energetic and creative ways of doing this action. Which is what I think Into the Spider-Verse has over, like, say, Homecoming or something.
I definitely like Into the Spider-Verse more than Homecoming.
I would say, and I've been debating this because I'm trying to decide whether or not I'm at that level.
Nothing against Homecoming.
No, Homecoming was fine, but because here's the thing, and I touched on this briefly in the last couple of episodes. I liked Into the Spider-Verse fine, but I thought it would have been... I think that the Spider-Verse film would have been fantastic as a Cartoon Network special. And the reason I say this is because for all of the things in it that are wonderful and commendable, and there are many, many, many things, I still thought that the plot itself was a bit too stock and cliche. And I think that I would have been able to excuse it more if I was seeing it on a television rather than on a big screen. So, I thought in some senses, Homecoming had maybe the better plot, because that one was less how to be a hero and more how to pick your battles and know what you should be aiming for and what the purpose of being a hero is, which I think is a more cinematic story and theme than just How to Spider-Man, which we've seen now like millions of times. And it's the, the trope of, oh, you don't have it, you don't have it, you don't have it. Oh, it's the final act, now you've got it. Like, that Karate Kid kind of story pacing. But, at the same time, though, I liked the characters in Spider-Verse more. And I liked the writing in Spider-Verse more. And I liked the presentation of Spider-Verse more. So I think both of them have their advantages and disadvantages. So it's hard for me to really rate where they land so far in the lineage of Spider films to me. So I'm still undecided whether or not I think Homecoming is better or not. I mean, I won't lie. For as much as I like to make fun of the trilogy, I still think my favorite Spider-Man movie is probably Spider-Man 2.
Spider-Man 2's really good, so there's nothing wrong with...
I mean, just because, like, for a while there, it defined what superhero movies were.
It did.
I think what Spider-Man 2 did is that it kind of showed Marvel how to make live-action movies. Since before that, the successful superhero movies were kind of cornered by DC. In which I mean the original Superman movies and the original Batman movies. And even those, by like the later portions of those runs, had kind of lost track of where they were going. But I think Spider-Man and Spider-Man 2 in particular was important in that it showed Marvel, here's how you do the movies. And then that kind of lays the template for what they did later in the MCU, though the MCU took a very different approach to it, because it was all interconnected and it had a bit more adult edge to it, which I think is more the responsibility of the first Iron Man than say Spider-Man 2. So it's tricky, and even then I would argue that the greatest superhero film is probably still Dark Knight, but.
There's nothing wrong with The Dark Knight, but I think I might just have a bias for Batman Begins.
I mean, I'm going to say something controversial here. I heavily prefer the Nolan films to the Burton one.
Yeah, same.
Like, everyone gives the Burton films so much credit, and I'm not saying that the Burton original is bad. They don't
not deserve it.
They don't not deserve it. They're fine films, and they're classics, but they feel a bit gimmicky to me now. Like, that's sort of like stylized, ooh, look, we did a very, like... I mean, it's Tim Burton. Like, that's the best way I can describe it. Burton put his stamp on it, and people were impressed with it in the late 80s because it was like, well, last time we saw live-action Batman, it was Adam West doing the Bat-2C. So... like, now, to have something that looks like a comic book and it's live action, like, on an artistic sense, I can appreciate that. But I don't think it really does service to the kind of dark edge that makes Batman... Batman?
Yeah.
So, and I think Batman Begins is great, too. To me, it's those two. It's Dark Knight and Batman Begins. So I think Dark Knight has the edge because of the Joker. Even though Scarecrow is fantastic in Batman Begins. But, Dark Knight seems to me Dark Knight has the more streamlined and focused story.
Dark Knight has one of my favorite Batman scenes in it.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of The Dark Knight, they want to kill the Joker, right? and the Joker is disguised to doctors as
Clowns.
and so everyone's like going to kill the clowns because and Batman has to stop everyone
Because there's
without
also
killing any cops, without letting anyone die. He has to stop the Joker's plan.
and there's also a ticking time clock as well
And
because
there's
you
a ticking
have the
time-
people on the
It's
boats.
probably one of the pinnacle Batman moments for me because he succeeds. And that's why it pisses me off going into Batman v Superman where they're just like, oh, well, like, Batman kills now and you can't expect this. I'm just like, yeah, I can because I've literally just saw this a couple years ago. Batman doing just fine, saving everyone. I want to go to that tower.
But then you have to factor in that in between 2 and 3 you have in between Dark Knight and Batman v Superman, we've also got Dark Knight Rises. Which, even in that scenario, he didn't kill people.
Yeah, he didn't kill people. And
He exploded a nuke over the horizon of Pittsburgh, which will do just as much long-term problems as anything else, but still.
I mean, he still doesn't kill anyone.
No, he doesn't kill.
So that's why it just makes me angry because I'm like, no, Batman doesn't kill.
We should probably go do a story thing.
Yeah.
So we have, because we've been doing 18 minutes now of filler.
Oh, hi. How you doing? This is anime.
I hope it's not anime,
Why?
because I can't live that lifestyle, honestly.
Yeah, I remember I gave you a list of anime, and I was like, hey, you might like this, and you've never watched it.
You should be glad that I'm just now finally watching the Batman series. Because, that alone is I had zero interest in seeing it, and then finally I was like, I got nothing better to do. Maybe I'll finally watch this.
Nothing better to do, he says, despite anime.
because that's inherently better than...
I mean, I'm not going to say that.
Whoop!
Nice of you to drop by. Let me catch you. Oh my gosh. Are you also?
Now, unfortunately, sir, because you've webbed him to that spot, you cannot also take down him. So you will have to web strike take down him. And they see you.
I'm sure it's fine. Oh shit. Oh shit.
I'm like, you want to know the easiest way to deal with these brutes is you just start using web bomb on them.
Yeah.
And then get them near a wall and just punch until they finally stick to it.
Are you happy now?
Yes.
Mr. Krabs. Are you happy?
Looks like you need another circuit box.
With
Where's that circuit box, John? Find the fuse.
Who's that?
Find the
circuit-
fuse
Oh my
box.
God.
They're all over the place here. They're packing them in like sardines. How many fuses in one day? Look at that go.
I need you, but there ain't no way I'm ever gonna love you now. Don't be sad.
Normally I would start cutting here, but I'm definitely leaving that in.
Terrible, terrible game.
You're a very impatient man, aren't you?
Yes. I want to be Spider-Man.
Not
If I was-
Spider Detective.
If I wanted to do this, I would be playing Breath of the Wild right now.
And yet you are not playing Breath of the Wild right now.
I'm playing Spider-Man.
Random backflip.
Why are you backflipping? To gain some distance. You can fly!
I've been watching a lot of Dragon Ball Z Abridged, guys. How you doing?
He was literally watching just highlights from it right before we started taping today.
Yeah.
So this is what you've been doing in your spare time.
Yeah, for the first time, I watched it all the way through. I'm getting my way through the movies right now.
Did you see the epilogue they did to episode 60?
Yeah, I
That
did.
had that great callback to...
It's like, bitch, I'm adorable. I'm just like, my Trunks' son, daughter. You wonderful.
Mine was more. I loved it when they did when they did the finale of Cell singing
Yeah.
My Way, and then they did it again with the perfect stuff. And he had one clip because it was great. Because I remember watching that in the original episode 60 when it came out, and actually getting emotional at it. And then in this one, they're like saying, "Hey, remember a couple months ago when we did this thing that was real emotional?
Yeah, no.
Joke's on you."
We're not doing it again. No, okay, so their finale to that was top notch.
Oh, yes.
Like, yeah,
I would say probably turn it the other way. They need to be, yeah.
Oh, Hell's Kitchen.
Well, that'll help Daredevil out a lot.
Yeah, well.
Also, I would say this is a good place to wrap up today's episode. Thank you everyone so much for watching. Be sure to tune in next time where more things will happen.
More things will happen.
Yes, and if you like what you see, be sure to hit that subscribe button and ding the bell to be notified about when new videos come out. Be sure to hit that like button and share the video with your friends, and we'll see you all next week.
Time.
Bye-bye.